started. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Let's see, first thing on the agenda is meeting minutes from 2/4/25. In front of you, everybody's probably...
Motion to approve.
All right. Motion made by Stan, is there a second? Second by Brian Miller. Any question? Any question, no discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, time sheets for review. Boone, you want to start going around? Anything out of the ordinary there, Dan?
No, actually, and I don't think there's any irony to it. Best month we've had in 42. So,
Good. Oh,
Well, good.
So everybody's on time, everybody's accurate. So.
Excellent. Can't beat that.
no.
Okay, yesterday Dan sent the bills out. If you haven't had a chance to look at them, they're all right here. Check it out.
Old engineering.
Yeah, I was
mile
wondering
and a
about
half.
that.
That's what that's for.
Okay.
And that was paid out of that House Bill 1066 here. You can see on the balance sheet, or when we get to that, that is going down. And I do believe, I might be surprised by this, but I think we're done paying for that bridge south of Harvey. So, but I'm pretty sure that Brian will be here in April, but I thought he told me that we're done.
Well, this would be a question for Brent. I was visiting with Larry Ryder, and they put the bridge up, and it got such tall reflectors now they can't get anything hardly through there.
Right.
Is there something we can extend out enough, or is there? Brent at one time talked to me, said there's some flexible ones
that are on springs.
that'll spring over.
Well, my wonderment is, being as it was funded, was that the spec when they got it?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Well, I'm sure it is.
We got the.
Can we change it?
Well, if it's got a spring, I think it can, because it's going to be the
Right.
same height.
But I mean, can we change it to a spring?
I don't know. Well,
Or maybe it has to go so long?
when Brent comes in, let's ask him. He may know all about that. Or
Is
he
that,
can
is that
find out.
only a concern in the fall, or is there seating equipment
Oh,
and stuff that gets way
Well,
out?
some of those air seeders probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Not quite
Mostly
sure.
fall. Headers would be
Yeah.
the bigger thing.
Mainly headers, I suppose.
I haven't measured it, but you can see that it's real high. It's not just, a short one.
Because
It's
how wide? It's
don't know.
20 feet, isn't it?
Oh, it's more than 20.
Right. So a header would be the
Yeah.
only thing that would
I would
affect
think
it.
so.
Yeah. How
And if
wide
we
is
were
it?
in Linton, John Wall say take the dang header off.
Yeah.
How
Ever hear
wide,
him rant about that?
how wide is the air seeder, you guys?
Oh, less than
15 or more,
15,
Oh.
15 to 18 maybe,
8 maybe.
maybe 18.
But
But
when it's
these
folded
tires
up,
with triples
does it
are
stick out
18.
yet?
No, that'd
Little
be
bit.
total width.
Okay.
Would be.
So anyway, that's the one, not really a complaint, it was a concern.
Right. Yeah. I was really surprised to see how high they were.
Yeah.
That can't
Darn
be,
nice bridge.
that can't be a change that would be difficult to pull off.
No.
Oh, it would.
I don't think so. So that got us off track here a little bit. What else on the bills here?
Did that pass? They were talking about yesterday, is the fair board gonna get money from the,
It passed one, I don't know which one.
it's
It passed
in the
one
process.
chamber, it went to the next chamber.
so at one time they were just gonna give these county fairs so much, or what did they ever end up with? Did they have to apply for the grant now?
Yeah, that's what he said yesterday, 50% cost share on any capital improvement. Now that we got everything fixed up there, now
The
there's state
grandstand,
money
the grandstand,
available.
the grandstand's a big deal.
All right, that would be, yes.
Brand those bills for the storage, is that on here at all, or?
No, that'll be coming now. That'll be coming. there's probably about 4 of them.
Talk about that next meeting, or,
We can talk about it now if you want to.
go ahead, mention it.
The boys had asked me about coming to the meeting, and I said, well, because of this motorcycle that's been stored there forever. And I said, well, if you're gonna bring stuff, have your, stuff in line, how many times you've asked and talked about it and all that. Well, there's 3 other ones that are involved with it too.
Well, you back
It's
up
old
3
bills.
other-
Old bills.
Old bills.
The
3 other
oh,
bills involved.
there's a motorcycle that's been there 4.5 years.
Yes, okay.
And if you
And they
were-
sent a bill?
Well,
Storage or?
they're,
It's all
they've
itemized.
talked about it many times and it's never got anywhere. They've checked with the sheriff's department and whatever, well, now
State's attorney.
they've got some other ones that are old already. They had to go pick up a potty
potty.
chair one day,
Porta potty that got
Porta potty.
stolen.
and it was ordered by the sheriff's department, and the person came and got the potty chair, and I guess nothing's ever been paid. And they also have another one where the person had a tow bill, they went and did it, and his restitution stated that he had to pay restitution or he was gonna be under arrest again. He paid half of it.
To pay it in full.
And he paid half of it and hasn't done it, that's been a couple of years ago. And so, and I think there's another 1 or 2 too. And so they just wanna get this all cleared up because communication's been kind of an issue. And, the bills will be sent to Dan, they'll be sent to the state's attorney, and they'll be sent to the sheriff's department.
So they haven't sent the bill up until this
Well,
point?
they've been, yes, they have.
It's been going to the sheriff's department, right?
It's been going to the sheriff's department.
And it's also been going to the state's attorney, which was Kathleen back then.
Right.
And
Well, the
nothing-
bill shouldn't go to Kathleen.
Well,
No, but they
No,
talked
but-
about it. They
This
talked about it.
This stuff was probably in like 2019, 2020, and 2021. I mean, we're talking years ago.
But if they're wanting, and they legitimately should have, if they want money to store this, wouldn't you send the bill to Dan? Or you send it to the sheriff's department who would then approve it and
Then-
Dan would pay it?
Then it should have come to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're not getting anywhere with any of this, and so they just want to get it all cleaned up, and they want to know what's going on. And they've got documentation, how many times it was talked about and all that. That's all coming.
So I did get a string of like a half a dozen emails right in a row last night.
Right.
So,
So like this motorcycle, I mean, Wells County has a spot to store it, don't they?
Well, that's a good question.
Can't. Why?
Now, I'm gonna really blow your cookies right now. Legal storage on a motorcycle is $20 a day. You figure that out in 4 years.
Oh, crap.
Motorcycle ain't worth that no more.
No, I know it's not.
I know, but it's
But
just,
the guy that owns it wants it back, and they haven't let him go back. They haven't let it loose for 4.5 years.
You know, we have a long history of that, right? People wanting to get their stuff back after the court
There's a
cases
history
and
of it,
after all that.
and I did talk to somebody else that's I talked to a BCI guy. He says, well, I thought that was taken care of.
That
He-
was taken care
The
of.
motorcycle thing was taken care of
A long time ago.
a long time ago, and it hasn't been taken care of.
Yeah,
I know.
Now,
So who do you believe? That's the question.
Well, here, who's responsible? The owner of the thing?
no, because the county requested it towed.
To be kept for investigation.
well, how long is this gonna go on?
Yeah.
I know. Why would BCI say it should be taken care of
Well,
already, and it
that's
isn't?
when the state's attorney should get involved, because
Yes.
if,
Well, I think, is Oliver coming in today?
yeah, it'll be.
Let's,
oh,
let's
well, that's
do
good.
that.
Let's just do it with him.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
that-
like Brian said, what the heck? Can't we find a place around here to store
Yeah.
that?
Why Love's gotta be responsible for it now?
They shouldn't be.
I mean,
No.
Not after 6
You know,
months, I
initially, I
don't.
see if they confiscate it, they got the equipment, I get
Right,
that
right.
initially, but
That it's
after.
there for a week to, somebody
Yeah.
get it, yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's thinking here.
Along the same line, let's ask Oliver, in case I forget, as to, we've talked about this for 8 years now, all the crap that the sheriff's department has, crap's the wrong word,
Right, right.
Stuff.
stuff, things,
That's not politically correct. Go ahead.
Why don't we have an auction and sell this stuff?
We've tried that.
Talked about that so many times. There's no
We
reason.
can bring
There's
that
a
up with
couple
all
of
of them.
cars in
Well,
there.
Dan tried to line up an auction, he could never get a list of it.
I know.
There wasn't there when Johnny Lawson got in, like,
There
There
was
was a
stuff
sale
there.
of guns once. I was at a
Yeah.
sale of guns once.
they had a bunch of,
That's the last time.
yeah.
Probably.
There has been a
And that was
sale.
out there. at the
And that's a
fair.
natural progression because a sheriff will collect things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's okay, that's good. But after it sits there a while, just get rid of it.
That's why I asked the question here a couple of meetings ago. Just, I hadn't been in that building, the boys' for a long time. And I still says, so you guys buy another motorcycle? No, it's been here. That's the same one? Yeah. Oh my.
All right, we'll ask Oliver that, that's it.
So, and then, and basically, you know, they're not trying to cause a stir here because they do work.
Well, all right, yeah.
They just wanna get things figured out.
No, if there's bills that aren't paid, doggone it, that's gotta be taken care
I
of.
mean, they just, you know, they're trying their best to keep everything cool.
They probably have a legal right to confiscate that thing.
So, you know, I don't know.
Well, anyway, let's do
Okay,
this all over.
thank you.
When Oliver's here.
Yep.
Okay, anything else on the bills?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Okay, very good, thank you, Brian.
I'll second them.
Brian Miller, motion, Boone second. Any discussion? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, balance sheet.
All right, you have that in front of you. You should be on the side of the page that at the bottom, it shows a little over $11 million.
We're rich.
And so just looking at a couple of things on here that should catch your attention. I think it's the fourth item down, it's called capital projects. You see about $250,000 that's been put in there. And I intend for those dollars to sit there, okay? We'll make that same rough collection again next year, so it'll become $500,000, give or take. And then that becomes the grant match money that presumably begins on this bridge north of town. And this is the first year we've had that as part of our levy, so there you see the results of it. It's supposed to be $250,000. So if you look at that total right now, you'd say, most of the people must be paying their taxes.
Yeah.
And that's a really good thing. So,
How about that?
all right, couple of other items worth noting here. I mentioned it earlier, the House Bill 1066 is down to $77,000, and we will continue to use those. That's from the last biennium from the state. And we'll continue to use that on that Hamburg Slough project as we go forward. Those will be the first dollars that are spent, and then the rest will come out of presumably prairie dog funding that we will get here soon.
In a couple of weeks, the way it sounds.
Yeah. And so other than that, I guess go down, you see where your general fund is at, and that will be the high water mark for this year. And obviously, a lot of those funds are tied up in investments and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Road fund obviously it's improving. Still a negative 650, but if you go a couple lines down, you see the federal aid road, which is just based on collections of people paying back taxes because that doesn't exist anymore. But there's $2,500 there, and right below that is the highway tax dollars, $126,000. So all told, right now your road department is only $523,000 or something like that in the red, and that's still painful. Okay, and we're going to continue to pay salaries and benefits and things of that nature, and really and truly the only revenue that we're going to have going forward is going to be state aid and road department aid that we get from the state of North Dakota. So that is going to continue to rise. What you do not want to, and when I say rise, I mean go further in the hole. But when we get to the end of this year, it can't be $1 million in the hole, okay? And if anything short of that will denote progress. Now, presumably, we're gonna get $135,000 of revenue, give or take, from the townships. at some time here in the next month or two, it's going to help alleviate that as well. So, project money will come from Prairie Dog and the savings of another employee. I don't have a letter, but I keep being told at the end of this month, somebody's retiring and that person is not to be replaced. Because at that point, when he is retired, we would be at the level in that department that we budgeted for. Okay? Other than that, the only other thing that I wanted to do is I also created a second side of this sheet. All right, because I don't want the $11 million to throw you. So what we did is this is one of the months, obviously, that all of the vehicle subdivisions get paid out. So you see a lot of empty spaces that, if you turn the page back over, have numbers in them. So when you pay out the fire districts, the ambulance districts, the school districts, the drains, the cities, the townships, etc., that makes a significant difference in what the balance sheet actually is. Now, this meeting is based on February, but once those March payments are made, what a difference it makes. So, do you have any questions for me?
One question on that projects deal. So yesterday you probably left, Ray, but either Nelson or Klein said that there's a good possibility, a lot more money for bridges. The one that we're working on up here, what percentage are we responsible for?
Right now, 19.26, I believe. It's about 20%.
So would that be able to be picked up with some of that?
It just depends on how the bill is written,
Yeah.
but it would be wonderful if they did. When the state of North Dakota talks about money, I mean, they talk about some big dollar figures. But I believe, I was sitting with Jerry Klein about a week ago, and for all of the infrastructure demands in the state of North Dakota, it was in the hundreds of billions of dollars.
I realize.
Okay, so even though they're talking about a lot of money, they're talking about a Band-Aid, and these situations are going to. We're in the same boat as a county, and you know this. Okay, with the amount of blacktop we have and things of that nature. There's no reasonable person that could put pencil to paper and think that we're going to.
How much was the state road fund, or the bridge fund the last biennium? Do you remember?
I do not recall.
Because I think I read someplace that the one that passed one chamber, and now mind you, that's subject to 10 different modifications until it passes, was 100 million.
And I would say that's a good estimate. It might not have been 100, but
It wasn't 100 before. It was way less than that, but that got used up.
But
right
when you
away.
look at border to border, border to border, that's 100 bridges probably.
Right.
and the need is more than 100 times.
I realize
Yeah.
that.
The infrastructure, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, the money
But
sounds
in our
big,
case,
but-
because we have started on this, I'd like to think that we should be able to get some of this before they run out of money at this point.
That's what I'm hoping too, yeah.
But it's something that's already been kind of applied for, so.
Right, we should be ahead of the
I mean,
game.
will they say, well, you have to apply for a different one to get it? I don't know.
And if this is a long time ago, I know I sent out a link that we got from DOT that there was red dots on the map, maybe this jogs your memory. And Wells County has a couple of red dots on it. But as you move west of here,
McHenry.
it's all red.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's red
McHenry
everywhere.
County's terrible.
So you have high needs, but you don't have the needs of a lot of the counties west of you. And
Well, anyway, my point is if we could even get some help with that, it would be great.
And I would guess when you get your engineers back here, you're going to recycle some of the same requests with both of those groups. What can we do about the circumstances we have, whether it's 71 or Old 52 or County 5 or bridges or whatever the case may be. So,
Very good. Any other questions on the balance sheet?
And before we do anything else, if there's nothing on that, let's take a look at these other two
We
sheets.
need to get this approved.
Yeah, we'll come back and look at that.
We don't need a motion.
Part of that,
Okay.
part of that is with this, so.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, as far as your CDs go, $2.263 million in those in a couple different banks. And then we did open a money market account, and that shows on this sheet as well, and we put $2 million in there. When our prairie dog funds come, presumably we'll put, give or take, about $1 million into this money market that we'll need for that Hamburg project, and we'll take the rest of it and buy another CD, because we won't, presumably, we won't need that money until sometime in 2026.
Is it what, 1.9 million?
That's what it was the last time, 1.954, and it's gonna be about that. I would like to think that it's gonna be a little bit higher, and we'll start with a 2 hopefully, but, so this is our current circumstance. We will put more money into this money market. If you go back to your balance sheet, there are some accounts on there. Social services is one that sticks out, obviously, that I think we can transfer, not all of it, but we could transfer $750,000 into that money market, and it can sit there for a couple of months. The money market allows us to make 6 transactions a month, and we shouldn't need to make more than 1 or 2.
Oh, that's
Deposit
good.
and or withdrawal.
What's the interest rate?
3.5 right now.
Oh,
So it's not as good as a CD, but it's only a quarter, or maybe 3/4 of a point below.
Yeah,
And it just gives us a lot more flexibility. But if the CDs can stay above 4, we'll still buy some of that stuff. And we'll put the stuff that we need the most flexibility with into this.
Because that Bremen Highway bill won't be till fall, will it?
Amber?
Or half of
It
it?
should be sometime in the late summer.
Right. Do you
Something like
what to do with that?
There's going to be
Prairie dog
some
money
things
into
that will
CD.
continue to trickle in, like we just had, which was on your bills. That was the first payment we've made on that so far. So, and then the last sheet, obviously, is one I like to share with you. Just shows you that of the, you know, you got that House Bill 1066 is still on there. I took the COVID relief off of there because it's no longer a thing, and that account is zeroed out. I'm going to do the same thing next month with the LATC up, unless they all of a sudden come out with some new funds there, but that is all used up as well. So right now you have specific control of $5.3 million, of which 4.263 from that previous sheet is in investments, leaving you with just over $1 million that is at your disposal. So if you don't have any questions, then you can approve the balance sheets for Wells County.
Very good, that's looking good there. All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve the balance sheet and all the investment funds.
So moved.
Motion by Brian Lout, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Brian Miller. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then last thing there, same thing I ask you to do each month. I've changed the wording here just ever so slightly, so it says CDs and investments. So there's no
Okay.
missing the point here, but other than that, it's the same thing that you do every month.
So we need to have a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Stan made motion to approve
I'll second.
the CDs investments, second by Boone. Any other discussion on it? Any discussion, hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Then the only correspondence we have this month is those Butler days, and Dennis brought one. I just got mine yesterday. Most of those are in the rear view mirror, but if you found those, maybe you did already.
There's one on Friday
Okay.
in Bismarck.
There's one in Jamestown on the 15th, too.
I'll represent us on Friday.
Okay. Must be going for basketball.
Yeah.
Make sure you get a coupon for a 20% discount on any new capital purchases in the next year.
Yeah, or a new cap or something.
Yeah.
Here comes all
Let's, portfolios quick, anybody got anything, Brian?
Nothing new for me.
Okay, Dan?
Janice is gonna start her equalization meetings toward the end of the month, or April, other than that, no. Everything's doing good.
Lou?
Nothing.
Tammy had a meeting here the other day, I attended for fire departments and ambulance and all that, their annual meeting on emergency management and stuff like that. Was really well attended, one of them pretty good. Brent, of course, will be in here, talk about yesterday on what's happening.
Brad comes available. I have a plan, I can say, it's in the plan.
I guess nothing, the only thing is, the 12th, we're interviewing others.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's good.
The 11th is the 6 county meeting, right?
Right. And this guy's got very, very good thing. The only thing is he's applying a lot of places. He's just trying to figure out. The one thing that we can say for Wells County, he's got the best deal to come to as far as benefits and pay. So,
Want me to talk to him about that? Because I can attest.
Yeah.
what's that?
Oh, no, I was just saying, if you want me to talk to him, I can say the same thing you're saying.
We can get all the help we can get.
Okay,
Anyway, he's coming, we're gonna interview on,
Our zone, talking about times for meetings, that zoning meeting
Yeah.
next
Tuesday.
Tuesday, I don't think there was a time put on it. Somebody called and said there was no time on it.
There
Should
was,
be in the evening.
but
Huh?
Jana announced it yesterday that it was 7 o'clock.
Okay, but this particular person wasn't there. He got an email and it
Yeah,
wasn't on.
there'd be some on that committee that wouldn't have been there yesterday.
Right.
Yes, I noticed
We-
that too.
I didn't get, the time for the meeting is,
Right.
he notified me, so that's just all I'm saying.
one other quick thing, and I know these guys have probably talked to Boone and Brian, the windmill guys, we met with the other day, Dan and I and Brent sat down with them, and they gave us an update on what's going on. Sounded really positive, and then according to the paper, there's some opposition, so, whatever, but,
They came and visited with me too, and I
Yeah.
guess the one thing nice to know is they got an office in New Rockford now, that they're over there every Wednesday if people got questions.
I don't think so, but,
Uh,
yeah, it was good information, so at least you kind of hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. They're more than open to visit with people.
Yeah, very good. Dan, you got anything to add to that?
No, they made it seem like, they do have some contingency plans, but they seem to have most of what they need, but, there's still a ways off.
Oh, way off.
So, I think if I understood correctly, they wouldn't be doing anything until 27.
Well, it sounds like
As
possibly,
far as actual physical work.
well, they talked about pouring some pads by possibly.
Was that in 26?
I thought so, yeah.
Okay, and that might be the case. I just remember hearing that I felt like they were 2 years
Yeah,
away from
and
really making any kind of
That was
dent in this.
probably, yeah.
So many things changed, but they also said that their company is prepared for a shift in government subsidies.
Wow,
So
that's the
it just
scary
seemed like
thing.
they would be able to move forward with or without
Yeah.
subsidies, but.
Okay, moving on here, should we start, Oliver's here?
Yeah.
Sure. So, as far as any updates that I have, you guys probably, I'm sure, read the news, so you have some general idea of the content and quantity of the cases that I'm sort of dealing with. It's not unmanageable at all. That's the reason why I've had to call you guys back as opposed to immediately picking up the phone for the past couple of months, mostly because I have to be on call for picking up calls from law enforcement officers. So I appreciate you guys' patience in me getting back to you on time. I try to do that when I can. But as far as that's going, everything is sort of in process now. We don't have a giant glut of reports to work through at this point. We've gotten pretty much everything that we need for the cases that are open right now to progress. So it's just a matter of taking a couple of them to trial, I think. Not sure exactly how many we're going to settle. But